Hey folks, this is Justin at Metcalf Mills. I'm down here in the Hickory King corn patch today, looking around, pulling a few weeds before they go to seed. Got some friends here helping me. They're actually neighbors, but they're also friends. Really thankful that they're here. If you've got neighbors and they're not friends, you need to check them out. They may be friends, you just don't know it. I know not all neighbors are that way, but you might get lucky like I did. Like I said, this is the Hickory King corn. And as I've said before, I've had this seed stock since I was about 13 or 14 years old. I've not grew it continuously since then, but I've just tried to maintain the seed stock. It's a good corn for making hominy out of. We make hominy. That's a process that I hope to share in the future on the video. Also, this corn will be used for milling. I'll let it stay out here in the field until it gets pretty dry. Not as long as I like to leave it, because when it gets to that point, you got critters that come after it, like deers and whatnot. So I found out I have to take it in a little sooner than what I like to, but that's not a problem. You can still dry it down. Everything will work just fine. On the cultivation of this corn, it's done pretty much just like the sorghum. If you watched my sweet sorghum video, cultivation's about the same, about 3 times. In this particular patch, this was new ground to me, and I don't mean that like brand new ground. It's never been grown before, but it had some commercial corn on it before, and it's new ground to me, and the practices that have been used here before me are quite different than what I do. So I planted these rows about 5 foot apart, and that's pretty wide for planting in rows, a row crop like that. And the reason I did that was to not just come in and completely zap the soil. My thinking was wider spacing on the rows, fewer plants are going to be better to get this soil replenished next year. I'm going to be doing some cover crops and whatnot to do that. I'm going to put back into the soil, hopefully more than I'm getting out of it. So when I came through and cultivated, because of the 5 foot wide rows, my cultivator didn't reach all the way. So I wound up coming back between the rows with my tractor, and there was still a center space that, it missed some of the weeds. So we're just knocking those weeds out today before they go to seed. My plan was on this to put a cover crop. The last time I cultivated, put a cover crop in here so that it would help replenish what's been taken out of this soil. It's, like I said, it had commercial corn on it, and it's been robbed and beat to death, and a lot of chemicals on it. So I like to start as soon as I can building soil back, and that's like, crimson clover. There's a lot of different things that you can put in, but I'd always thought about putting clover in with my corn, but with a lot of things, because nobody's ever done it before, they think it's a bad idea. And I found that not to be the case. I tried it a couple years ago with a friend of mine. She had the same idea, and in her experience, it worked, and been doing it ever since. It did work then. In the past 2 years, it's worked. And just because somebody says something is a bad idea that they really don't have experience with, that don't mean it's a bad idea. If you've got an idea and you want to try it, by all means, try it. Don't let somebody talk you out of it, because I missed out on a lot by doing that. And from now on, if I've got an idea, well, I'm going to try it just to see how it works, if it works, how good it works. You may improve. You never know. But I'll come in with probably a cover crop after this corn is harvested. Probably knock the stalks all down, maybe bush hog them, and then come in and put some kind of cover crop in to start rebuilding that soil, bringing it back. And eventually my hope is to do, maybe even move to the point of planting this corn no-till. Is my, that's my ultimate plan and hope and dream, is to grow this stuff no-till, to where you don't have to do anything as far as dirt work and whatnot. Well, I've thought about it, and we had seeds before we had plows, so that's the direction I'm moving in. I'm just not there yet, but I think, and there's people doing it. There's people growing heirloom corn, in the no-till fashion. So that's what I'm moving towards, and I'm looking forward to getting into that. And what I'm doing, as I said before, is just coming through, and the few weeds that's in here, just pulling them out, beating the roots out good so that they don't get set back out when it rains. And you want to catch weeds before they go to seed, because once they seed, one weed will turn into 1,000. So try to get them all. This is not how most people do it. Most people come in and spray a chemical and that's it, forget it. It's easy, it's fast, but I'm not okay with poisoning anything if I can help it. I mean, I realize you can't go through and pull weeds on a commercial crop, but small scale, what I'm doing, it's a whole lot harder and takes a lot more time. But when I'm grinding that corn and sitting down in the morning to a bowl of grits or a nice cake of cornbread in the evening at supper, and I think about, this corn don't have anything on it that's going to hurt me. It didn't have anything sprayed on it. It's just, in my opinion, it's just the best that I can do, and that's just how I like to do it. What happened down on this end of my Hickory King corn, the crows got in here, and one method that I've used for a few years on controlling crow problems in corn is to put a string about 6-8 inches off the ground, right down the corn row, just right above the corn row, all the way until the corn is big enough so that they won't pull it out to eat the kernel off the bottom of it. But that didn't work this year. I guess the crows are getting smarter. So they did wipe out probably almost half of this section of corn right here. And when that happens, the weeds get worse because you don't have the corn shading the ground from the sunshine. So the weeds, it gives them a place to thrive. When the weeds are that thick, I usually just use my scythe, just come through and clip them off when they get big, so that they don't go to seed and cause you a lot more problems down the line. And even with doing that, there'll be a few that get by that you have to come back and give these a couple of days to brown up in the sunshine, and you can come back and just get what's left out. All right, folks, that's what's going on today in the Hickory King corn patch. A lot of people, they give a shout out, but up here in the hills and in the mountains and the hollers, I want to give a holler out to Permapasture Farm. My friends and neighbors, they're down here today helping me out with dealing with some of these weeds, and I just, I can't tell you enough good things about them. So check them out. They got a channel, Permapasture Farm. They do a lot of cool stuff. You learn a lot from them. This is Justin here at Metcalf Mills at Chestnut Mountain Farm. Appreciate you tuning in. If you've not yet, please subscribe to my channel. Like this video, and I got some good stuff coming up to share with you. I think you're going to enjoy it. Thank you for watching.